And now we bring in San Francisco. Who needs Shohei Ohtani?
Who needs Shohei Ohtani?
When we've got San Francisco's own bred and born Larry.
What's up, Larry?
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on, fellas?
Hey.
Is that Los? Is Los in the house up there, or is that not Los?
He is. That's Los up there.
That is Los. I think he's got a honeydew list to do right now. I heard.
I don't think he wants to hear the negative comments about Mr. Young.
No, I had a piss list that I had to do. Sorry, guys. What's up, Larry?
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm good.
How you guys doing? Bora, good to see you. Eric, good to see you.
Yep.
Yeah. So we.
What have you guys been talking about?
We've been we were talking about, a little bit about economics and Farhans and we have been dealing with we started off with the Young Hoo Lee signing, and then we got into Jim Bowden's article on the remaining 17 free agents and what he's hearing from agents and where they'll sign and their contracts. He had Lee going to the Giants for 5 years and $92.5 million. So he was pretty much right on the dollar annual AAV and just got the extra year. He's got also Reese Hoskins coming to the Giants.
That would be exciting.
And he had who was the pitcher went to the Royals? Seth Lugo. He had Seth Lugo. This is an article that was out going to the Royals. So he's two of the guys that have signed. He's nailed so far in Lee and Lugo. So
where does he have Chapman going?
Blue Jays.
Going back to the Blue Jays.
Blue Jays for 6 years.
That's interesting.
And he had Bellinger staying with the Cubs for 7 years, 171. He's got the pitchers. He's got Yamamoto going to the Yankees, and Jordan Montgomery staying with the Rangers, and Blake Snell going to the Mets.
What pitcher does he have coming to the Giants? None.
None. And that's where this thing's got to change. They've got to land one of those three starters.
Tell Larry the projections for both Snell and Montgomery, how they're about the same. I'm curious.
Yeah, they're both about the same. He had them both at 6 years, 165-ish.
It's got to be more than that.
Here's the thing on the pitching is that I kind of like the idea of getting the pitcher on with the dangled carrot. You know what I mean? Like I'd like to get Tyler Glasnow because he's a free agent next year.
We're here. He's there's trade rumors out right now
getting
tonight.
Close to getting to the Dodgers.
Getting close to going to the Dodgers.
See, he's the guy to get, man. He's a power arsenal guy who's, Dodgers have rotation problems. I mean, let's be honest about it. LA's rotation, they're leaning on Pepio, and they're going to lean on some Bobby Miller. They're going to lean on three really young guys in their rotation. And that's right. If they get another guy and Buehler at the top. In some ways, I think the Giants' rotation, I wouldn't say is better than LA because LA's got not just young arms, but really good young arms. But the Giants have good young arms too, and I just think that the anchor of LA's rotation is Buehler, and I'd rather have Logan Webb as the anchor of the rotation because I think he's more for sure, as far as health and readiness, and Buehler could be better, but Buehler could also be hurt. So I kind of, I'd love to see Yamamoto come to the Giants. That's the guy that I'd love to see. And it's so funny because I've heard people who questioned Yamamoto, but love the signing the Giants made today. And all I would say is to those people is you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I mean, it's just as simple as that. Yamamoto is easily the best starting pitcher out there. I mean, in the free agent market, his stuff, he's ridiculous. He's young Lincecum if I've ever seen it. I love Yamamoto. I think Yamamoto could be one of the best pitchers in all of baseball. I mean, Yamamoto is He's 25. He has a windup that has very little motion to it, but then there's tremendous torque in the way he kind of hurls himself towards home plate. His fastball sits like 96 to 98. It's a total strikeout pitch. His command is absolutely unbelievable. Makes Lincecum's command look like nothing. It makes Lincecum look like he's just spraying it around out there. And Lincecum had good command. And then he's got a splitter that's nasty and a curveball that's kind of like unique. I mean, I don't know how to explain that, but other than it's kind of comes from a weird arm angle, you can tell guys don't see it. Yamamoto played in Japan. Japan is kind of like better than AAA, not as good as the majors. Lee, on the other hand, played in Korea. Korea is much more like high A ball or double A. I mean, you're talking to somebody who wagered on the KBO during the pandemic. I've watched a lot more KBO than I care to admit. It's not pro ball in Japan. Japan's a much higher level than the KBO. So, and this kid's coming off an injury, a down year. He gets by having a great batting eye. I think in the majors, they're going to attack him in the zone a lot more. They're not going to nibble off the corners. He's coming off a year where he didn't have a lot of power. So I've seen some reports that don't believe he's this awesome center fielder, that he's actually more of a corner outfielder. So I don't know. I mean, I think Lee, I mean, I know there's a lot of Giants people that are just so dying for the Giants to feel good about the Giants and we're all in that bunch as well. I mean, we all want to feel good about what the Giants are doing, and they haven't done anything. And so we all want to embrace this and just be like, hey, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. But in reality, that's a dramatic overpay for a guy that I think projects to be like a Jeff McNeil, which Jeff McNeil last year had 270 average, 10 home runs, 10 stolen bases. I think that's,
but McNeil did win the batting title, I believe, the year before, right? In 22.
And he's a two-time All-Star.
Yeah.
It's not like he's a bum. He's a two-time All-Star. But as far as those numbers, are you really going to pay? I mean, somebody, Adam Copeland from KMBR retweeted at me, and he's like, I think Lee's going to be like Andres Torres in 2010. And Andres Torres in 2010 stole 26 bases. This guy's stolen 69 bases in 7 seasons in Korea.
Yeah, I saw your reply back. Yeah, Torres was only 426,000 or whatever, right?
Yeah, I mean, they didn't pay Torres very much compared to what, they just definitely didn't pay Torres $19 million.
Right.
So I think it's a dramatic overpay.
The question is if the KBO is more like equivalent to double A ball here, you got a guy in Wade Meckler who tore up double A and tore up triple A for that matter.
He tore up triple A
and then struggled. So Bora mentioned he thinks this move might be, more for year 2, 3, and 4, where it took Ha-Sung Kim, his first year hit 202 and then last year hit 260. He may come over and really struggle in year 1 as he learns major league pitching. But is that worth paying what you're saying is paying a guy almost $19 million a year when you got a guy in your system that's like Wade Meckler? Could he do that in a couple years and you don't even have to pay him?
There's just several things in Lee's story. And, I did a video on him last week, so I did some research on him then. I talked to some scouts. I've read a bunch of scouting reports, and there's just not a lot of KBO hitters that have come over. Now, Shin-Soo Choo has been the best of them.
Yes.
The best of them, and he rakes. I mean, and I've always loved Shin-Soo Choo. I think he's a tremendous hitter. But this was the quote from a scouting.
Is that the one
report.
with Tampa Bay? Is he with Tampa Bay?
He was at the Reds, wasn't he?
No,
he was with the Indians, wasn't he?
He was with the Rangers in the right?
Okay,
Wasn't that
Reds
I
and
don't-
Rangers, I thought.
Who's the one that played first base with the
that's
Rays?
Choi.
yeah,
Choi.
G-Man Choi.
G-Man Choi. Okay, so
But Chu has been easily the best KBO hitter, right?
I don't think Chu ever played in the KBO. I think he got drafted out of high school or something.
I think
he
did
was
too.
drafted out of high school.
I don't know if he ever played in the KBO.
I
interesting.
thought somebody said he did.
He
didn't.
might have.
You're right, because he made his major league debut at 22. So maybe not. Maybe we're just talking about Korean hitters.
Yeah,
He might not have
18,
been
he
in the
was-
KBO.
He was in rookie with the Mariners.
But I mean,
yeah.
Chu hit 218 home runs. Chu was a lifetime 275 hitter. I'm looking at his baseball card right now. He had 20 homers, 22 homers, 16, 21, 13, 22, 22, 21, 24. He drove in as many as 90 in a year, and he stole as many as 22 in a season. And he had 4 years in a row where he went 21, 22, 12, 21, 20 as far as stolen bases. And he was a doubles machine. He had 43 doubles in 2012 with Cleveland. He came up with Seattle, and then he went Seattle, Cleveland, 1 year in Cincy, and then the rest in Texas as a DH.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, Shin-Soo Choo is a tremendous player.
Yeah, he was good.
He's
really
now
good.
41. He's out of baseball, right?
Yeah.
Since 2020. He hasn't played since 2020 with Texas.
Larry, you mentioned Yamamoto, and I'm completely on board with you. I think he's going to be a star. I think he's going to be great. But we just learned that he is projected to be in a 6-man rotation, and he's not going to be in that 5-man rotation. Does that take away anything?
No,
from
I think
you,
this is the
or-
future, Bora. I think the future of major league rotations is 6-man rotations. I mean, I think that's where it's going. I think the Giants are going to be on the cutting edge of that. I mean, when you say does it do anything? I mean, you mean change the value because of the less starts?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I've heard people say that they don't think that he's worth $200 million. I would say he's a power pitcher with plus command. Now, the question I would have is he's Lincecum. You know what I mean? So let's take a look at Lincecum's card. How many years did Lincecum have?
He had about 5 good ones.
That would be my biggest concern with Yamamoto, is that he may have a Lincecum type career. I mean, he's got a lot of torque. He's 5'10", 5'11". He's not big. Lincecum was great in 2008. He was great in 2009. He was 16-10 in 2010. He was 13-14 in 2011, 10-15 in 2012. Just looking at the ERAs, Lincecum really only had 4 years where he had that ERA sub 3. 1 year was actually 3.43. So his ERAs went 2.62, 2.48, 3.43 in 2010, 2.74 in 2011. Wasn't that the year he threw the no-no?
Yeah.
Mm.
No. It might have been
Or was it
2013.
12? Might have been 12 or 13.
I think it was.
But I mean, he
12.
won double digits until 2014. So if you just count how many double-digit win seasons he had, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so that's about what I would feel comfortable giving Yamamoto. 7 years.
Yeah, I don't know if I would want to give him 9.
They're talking about Bora. They're saying 10. They're saying maybe 12.
That's crazy. What I would do is
That's
I would,
crazy.
if you're gonna sign Yamamoto, take a book out of what you just did with Lee and give him an opt out after 5 years, so he can hit free agency after his age 30 season. Give him that opportunity.
There's also
Yeah.
a couple people that are saying Yamamoto was throwing 125, 130 pitches in Japan. So
Right.
I
So
don't-
he's
I don't
not
want
really
him
as
throwing
young as.
yeah, I don't want him throwing every 6 days. I'd keep his pitch count at 100 and 110. I want him out there every 5 days. If I'm giving you that kind of money, you need to be out there every 5 days.
I don't think
every
he's,
6 days is 27 starts in the year.
That's
So he's
kind of
gonna
how
make about
they.
million two per start.
Here's something we'll just. Tom Verducci was on with Tolbert and Copes today. Said, I was told the teams went to him brought up the possibility of him playing a corner, and he was like, "No, I'm coming here to play center field." I like that about a player. So, yeah, I kind of like that too. He does seem to have an attitude of, a little
Got
spunk,
swag, which the Giants need very badly.
I mean, there's some highlights of him, and
a lot of there's more than one scout out there saying that he profiles better as a left fielder.
Yeah,
especially
I'm
with the
looking at this.
ankle. I can see that.
Will Martinez, his Twitter, he posted a scouting report. He says, or the thing says, he primarily projects to rack up doubles while hitting 10 to 15 home runs. Lee is more of an above average runner than a true burner. He has solid instincts and runs good routes in center field, but his range is a tick short, particularly on balls hit over his head. Lee has reliable hands and projects to be an average defender in center field, though he may have trouble in more expansive outfields. He has fringy arm strength that will force him to left field if he has to move.
Now let's bring up Brock Purdy's profile, his scouting report. Let's see how it works out.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Scouting reports are not always right.
Do not judge a book by its cover.
Here's the thing. We're talking about a guy who's got a big swing. A big swing. Now it's kind of, he's like short to the ball, long through the ball. He's also kind of looks like he's got kind of a flat swing through the ball, but a gigantic kind of uppercut post contact. You know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying? It's like when you watch him, he looks like he's on the baseball, like a high average hitter, but then he's got this gigantic uppercut. Here's my biggest concern is that now somebody showed, look, in the WBC, he hit a 95-mile-an-hour pitch from Darvish to right field. Okay.
He pulled it too.
That's one. We're talking about once. I mean, I can show you Jason Vosler, down and in where he golfed it out and looked awesome.
Yeah.
The reality is he's going from a league where the pitchers throw average fastball at 88 to a league where the average fastball gets harder and harder every year. You're going to face 94 almost every night. That's the average. And there's all kinds of guys who can throw 98. 98. 98 in the big leagues is not crazy. That's like, you see that all the time. And I just see a guy who has great batting eye, which is one of the reasons he's so good in the KBO. He's got a really keen batting eye. But in the majors, I don't think they're going to work off the edges and off the corners of the plate to this guy. I don't. I think that they're going to come at him with hard stuff in the zone or on the hands. They're not going to nibble. They're going to come at him nightly with hard stuff in the zone. So I think that's going to negate this incredible batting eye, because I think the approach is going to be attack him with hard stuff. And then I saw more reports. They're saying he struggles against the slider and struggles against the cutter. I mean, literally,
that's all Major League pitchers throw are cutters, pretty much.
This is the bigs right there: cutter, slider, hard fastball. Then you look at the fact that they're saying he hits the ball hard on the ground to the right side of the diamond a lot. That's not good. That is not good. He hits ground balls 60% of the time. So maybe it translates, but maybe it doesn't. And all I'm saying is you got a guy with kind of a slight frame coming off a major injury, with an elongated swing, who's playing in a league where the fastball's 88. Now the fastball's 95. And I just think that they're going to challenge him in the middle of the plate, and we're going to see what he can do.